Hello, everybody. This is the Proof of Life Live. I got a message. If anyone's out there, write that you can see me and hear me, please. It's the first time I've done this by myself. I've always done this with Eric, and I want to make sure that this is actually going and working. Proof of Life Live. There we are. Okay, we got some people in here. All right, if you can hear me and see me, write it in the comments. Okay, good. All right, Proof of Life Live. Why did I just jump on here real quick and do it? Because I got a text from a longtime fan, and he said, "We haven't heard from you. We haven't seen you. Where are you?" The only time anybody that I've ever seen a creator drop off like this is when they died. And I thought, do people think I've died? I need to get on here and talk about this. So what I'm going to do is I am going to get to questions. This is going to be 30 minutes. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do 20 minutes on question and answer about your dogs. And I'm going to explain to you what I've been doing lately for the people who want to know, for the Beckman podcast listeners, Beckman Unleashed podcast listeners who have not seen me in a while, for the people, YouTube people have not seen me in a while. Here's what's going on. And the truth is, the only thing interesting about social media, in my opinion, literally the only thing interesting about social media is that it's real and that you get to know the people and their emotions and what's going on in their lives. Everything else is nonsense. Like watching NBC or something, you're like, this is the worst thing. Watching some late night show scripted, it sucks. It's horrible. The only thing good about social media is realness. So here's what's going on with me. I am so busy. I have so much going on. And you don't have to worry about me being burnt out. I don't get burnt out. You know why? Because I don't really want to do anything. I don't want to do anything. I'm a pretty lazy person. But I can't be lazy because I have so many things happening. Everybody wants a piece of my time. And it's all legitimate. And they all deserve a piece of my time. My children deserve much of my time. My wife and my marriage deserves much of my time. My manager deserves much of my time at my facility. My business partner deserves much of my time. My family deserves much of my time. The rest of my family. My clients deserve my time. My listeners deserve my time. The Beckman Unleashed people deserve my time. All these people deserve time. But I only have so much to give. My Beckman Aggression Program people need my time, especially right now. My Beckman Coaching Program people need my time. All these people need my time. And there's only so much of me to give. So some things have dropped off. And that's where I'm at. It's nuts. I have 3 children. They're homeschooled. One of them is a high-level competitive surfer. I love my children. I want to hang out with my children. I don't want to work all day and never see my children. I love my wife. I want to see my wife. I don't want to work all day and not see my wife. Marriages fail all the freaking time. And you know why they fail? They don't fail one day. They fail because something happened years ago and then it slides until something happens. That's not going to happen with me. I'm not going to let that happen because then everything blows up. So that's what's going on with me. That's why I am so busy. That's why you haven't seen me at the podcast. And YouTube isn't like quite what it used to be, like for a lot of reasons, financially and otherwise. I think TikTok took much of YouTube's market share, to be honest. TikTok's blowing up. And I will never stop YouTube. It's always my number one social media thing. But it's not quite what it used to be. So it's getting less. And my podcast, I built such an audience with the podcast, with Beckman Unleashed podcast, that we were so close to them, and so they were so invested, and we never missed a podcast for I think 70, 60 podcasts every week, and then we just started to drop away a little bit, and those people are like, you were a part of our life, Joel. Where did you go? And I get it. I get it. So I apologize, especially to Beckman Unleashed podcast people. And many of them are here right now, I'm guessing. Oh, I'm doing amazing. Thank you, Monty. You look younger. You must have been eating avocados. Thank you, Ryan. There's a podcast guy right there. Maybe our biggest podcast guy. So that's what's going on with me. That's where I've been. I'm fine. I'm alive. Proof of life is right now. I don't have a newspaper. That's it. Okay, so that's what's going on with me. Let's get to questions. Now, if you want dog training questions, great, write them in here. If we don't get to them, I can talk all day. You know that about me. So no dog training questions, that's fine. But we're not going to get probably into politics and stuff like we do Beckman Unleashed podcast, in which I don't want to promise anything, but we'll probably do it next week. Okay, yeah, a lot of podcast people in here. Oh, Donna is a first-time listener. It's good to connect. I haven't been connecting with YouTube and podcast people a lot, and I love these people. I love that they watch the podcast every week. And then it's funny about the podcast because I'd go, we didn't do a lot of work on the podcast, and it could have been much bigger and could be much bigger if we had the time to put into it, like much bigger. We did a pretty good job, but then I would be like, oh, the numbers are waning a little bit. And then I'd look at other podcasts and I go, we're killing it compared to like other dog training podcasts and other podcasts in general. And I'm like, they put a ton of work into it. They have people behind the scenes. Like, it's just me and Eric, as you probably know. And I'm like, we're killing it. So I'm proud of what we did with what we're doing with Beckman Unleashed podcast. But I'll never stop the lives. I've just been so busy. It's important to take care of your family, your business, but they miss your contact is what James says. Yeah, no, I know. And man, these YouTube videos, these produced, which I do the editing, and there's also hiring people. Where's this money coming from? And you guys don't care. Like, I know people are like, oh, Joel, you have it so bad, which of course I'm not saying. And of course you don't think, but like, it's hard to hire somebody. I can't hire somebody to make my videos. I can't do it. You hear those voiceovers? That's me. Like, I can't tell someone to edit those videos. I've tried to hire somebody, and I was basically making the video. They saved me a little bit of work. It doesn't do anything. Those videos are my videos. My YouTube videos come from my brain exclusively. The tone is all mine. Everything's all mine. You can't hire somebody to do that. Yeah. So anyway, what advice would you give on how to manage your time to Are you serious, Jesse? What advice would me give? Did you hear the first 10 minutes of this podcast? I have no ability to manage my time. Jesse, what advice would you give on how to manage your time to maximize productivity? Why don't you tell me how to do that? Because that is not my strength in any way. My husky is challenging me a lot. He gets worked up when he can't go to people and dogs outside on a walk. I tried your technique about holding collar and pushing his side, but it doesn't work. Okay, husky wants to go see people. Ready? Your husky never gets to go see people. You cannot put the behavior of going to see people on a variable schedule of reinforcement and then expect your dog not to try to get to every person. A variable schedule of reinforcement, if you want to truly understand that concept, I've got a Beckman coaching program to become a professional dog trainer. It's a nuanced operant conditioning mechanism or whatever. If you put a behavior on a variable schedule of reinforcement, it strengthens the behavior. So if you pass 5 people and go, no, you can't see them, and then the 6th person the dog pulls and you go, I'll let you see them, you just made the pulling to people get worse. I would rather you let your husky meet every person than let them meet 1 in 10 people. Right? They're going to keep trying because they know you'll eventually give in. I had this problem with Bosco, my first Doberman. I would walk Bosco around, and I wanted him to be so socialized that I would let him see dogs on every walk. till the day that dog died, he was not able to just calmly walk by a dog. He didn't pull, but there was always a whine in there. There was always something in there because he basically was able to see so many dogs. And then I put it on a variable schedule reinforcement, most likely later on, that it never really got out of him. So if you really want to quit, you go, no, you're not seeing. Then when you pass the person, you can then release the dog to go back and see the person. That's what I would say. And the concept or the principle is don't put it on a variable schedule reinforcement. It's better to say you never meet anybody and then you go past them, or you meet everyone, but don't do 1 in 5, 1 in 10. Okay, that happens a lot. All right. Makes sense. Okay, good. And this is what we're doing. I'm doing this to answer questions, in part, to tell you about live and to answer your questions, because I haven't just answered questions a long time. The podcast, I'm dogs all day. It's dogs all the time. So I don't want to necessarily get on these all the time and answer questions, but I enjoy it from time to time. What advice do you give me? Oh, managing time. No, we're not. We already did that. I'm having issues getting my dog's attention. Non-working line German Shepherd mix. Tried a bunch of stuff, but he seems easily distracted, even though he listens quite well indoors and in the yard. Okay. What is the middle of the road between indoors and in your yard and out in the world? There is a middle of the road. I would argue that middle of the road is your front porch. And you live in an apartment, it's outside of your house in the hallway. So you work there. I would also say you are going to give the single greatest reinforcement available. In my opinion, it is big chunks of chicken, highlight jackpotting with the best thing ever. Okay. And you are going to do the name game or sits or whatever the basic in those areas that are not the outside world, but not your backyard. And you are going to be jackpotting. You can jackpot with chicken. When your dog has diarrhea, what do vets tell you to give them? Chicken, because it's easy on the stomach. Think how much chicken breast, boiled and cut up, you can give your dog. So you're going to find the middle of the road and you're going to get their attention there. Then you're going to go a little farther. Then you're going to work them there. Now, it's not going to be perfect. You're going to have to go in the world. And then you're going to find times out in the world when you can get their attention for brief periods of time. Oh, good. He would have not given me that attention at Starbucks, but because I did that name game in front of my house, I'm now getting it a little bit at Starbucks. So now you're winning a little bit. See what I'm saying? You're bridging the gap on the stimulation level, on the distraction level. You're also adding higher reinforcement. Don't go get Zook's treats. Don't buy store-bought little stupid things. Maybe chicken liver or something, or beef liver is good, but it's the best thing in the world. And you're going to get their attention for short periods of time, then move it out and add distance, distraction, duration. Essentially, in this case, it would be distraction. Okay? I'm going to go through every question. Try to stump me. How about that? Actually, I mean, you can try. I don't want this to become a game. I just want to answer questions. Hello, Joel. My Dogo Argentino called Zeus is an intact male, pretty dominant with 48 kilograms. I don't know what that is in weight. I'm going to say a kilogram is less than a pound. So I'm going to say this dog's like 80 pounds. Maybe neutering these types of dogs. I need his age. Alvaro Garcia. Age matters when neutering. I was thinking about neutering today. There's reasons to neuter and there's reasons not to neuter. My first Doberman was neutered. He was awesome. My second Doberman was not neutered. He is awesome. There is a part of neutering. There's many things with neutering. Many good, less good, but a lot bad, I'd say. But there's another thing people don't think about. What about the trauma of going to the vet? Forget they're cutting off an important part, right? That's obvious and bad. You go to the vet and then they sit in the back room for 6 hours and whine. Oh, it's just a small thing. It's actually not a small thing to some dogs. I'm doing this Beckman aggression program, and I'm constantly thinking about how to simplify aggression, to explain it to Beckman aggression, possibly on YouTube, Beckman coaching. I'm basically trying to take trigonometry and dog aggression with all these variables and try to make it as easy as I can to the masses. But it's so unbelievably complicated. So I'm thinking a lot about trauma and how to explain it. There are dogs that is life-changing trauma sitting in the back room at a vet office for 6 hours and whining. Some don't care, no big deal. Some dogs come out of there different. Just another little thing to neutering. So I don't know his name. I need to know his name, or excuse me, his age to answer that question. Donna says, how do I get my dog from pulling on the leash? She is a Bernese mountain dog and will not listen to me, and I had her trained. Okay? Bernese is a big dog. Big dogs, St. Bernards and Newfies, I will get them on a leash and I will give them one correction sometimes, and they don't move. They don't pull me an inch. I've seen big dogs go look at me and they literally go, oh, this is different. I've pulled everybody. And I'm not saying they're perfect at walking after that. Big dogs respect strength. That's not really how they think, but they go, it's a first. I didn't pull the person. And they go, whoa, this is different. And they kind of 30% reduction in pulling after one correction. Big dogs, I'm talking. So Bernese Mountain Dog, gentle leader, single best dog training tool ever invented. They give me no money. Gentle Leader company is the worst. They've never said thank you, but I believe in their product, so I'm going to keep saying it. Or Halti. Buy a Halti. How about that? Buy a Halti. Forget Gentle Leader. They're the same product, essentially. They're both a head harness, nose deal like on a horse. You need one. There's a conditioning process to it. I don't want to go through that now. Gentle Leader, my doorway method, basically put the leash on in your house, and guess what? I go to people's homes, put the leash on, and guess what the dog does? Their dog goes, oh, we're leaving. And I go, Bink, we're not going anywhere. And dog goes, no, this is when we go to the door. And I go, no, I know what you think this is, but that's not there's a new sheriff in town. And then they go, and then I take one step towards the door, and guess what they do? They go, up. And then they go 6 feet out, 2 foot arm, 6 foot leash. They're 8 feet away from me, just leaving. I go, Bink. Maybe I turn back in the house, walk in the living room. Then I go back 2 steps towards the door. And they go, I'm leaving. No, you're not. We're not going anywhere. Tamp them down early because it only gets harder from there. That's called my doorway method. You don't need hard corrections. You don't need prongs. You don't need e-collars. You don't need to tell them you're the boss. Then you get to the door, you fling that door open, dog goes, I'm out of here. And you go, boop. And then you walk the other way. Simple correction. You didn't even give a correction. Guess who gave a correction? The dog gave himself a correction. The dog is on the leash and the dog left you. You simply stood pat or maybe gave a little 2-inch correction. They gave themselves a correction. And when a dog gives itself a correction, like my leash step-on method for the doorway or for jumping, it's the most clear correction to them. They understand it because they gave it to themselves. Okay, so Bernese Mountain Dog. Hopefully that helps a bit. Oh my gosh, there's so many questions here. I got to jump to the bottom. I'm sorry, I'm going to miss so many of your questions. Okay. Bink. Oh, Donna says, I have tried that. Donna, have you tried that? Have you tried that on a Gentle Leader? I think you're the one who asked about the Bernese Mountain Dog. Have you tried it on a Gentle Leader, Donna? Have you then, how many times does your dog essentially, for the doorway method, loose leash walking, your dog basically, they don't go farther until they're perfect at the place you are. The place you are might be your kitchen. Then the place you are is your living room. Then the place you are is the hallway. Then the place you are is your front door. Then the place you are is the front of your house. It always ends with a turning back and then repeating the walk you already went on until they're perfect. Then you turn down the street. They go, oh, I'm going down the street. And you go, okay, great. If you're close to your house, you go back in your house. Or you at least turn around towards your house till they go, why are we going back towards your house? And you go, oh, you can look at me. You're next to me. Great. You bought yourself a ticket back. It's a tamp down process. Oh, thank you, Angela, for the $1.49. Okay. Best method to help my 5-month-old female Dobie separation anxiety. All right. That's puppy separation anxiety. So I have mild, medium, and severe separation anxiety. Severe separation anxiety is a mental disorder. Why does that matter? When it's severe, which it's not with a 5-month-old, we cannot label it severe yet because puppies have separation anxiety and it's within normal to have it. Or it's 99% it's not severe, okay? Because it's a puppy. We don't know yet if it's severe. The best thing in the world walked out the door, okay? That's you. The single best thing ever walked out the door. We have to give the dog the second best thing in the world, the most reinforcing thing, because the best thing walked out. And you have to control their hunger. This is a long talk on separation anxiety. I'm going to give it to you very short. Food-filled frozen Kongs, marrow bones, or bully sticks. There's a few others. These things have to be safe, long-lasting, and reinforcing. Those 3 things are generally safe, generally long-lasting, and generally reinforcing. You have to control their hunger. You can drop their base diet a little bit, or if your dog's always hungry, you can not. But if they're not eating the thing, you might have to drop the diet a little bit. So I set up a camera or a phone. I give them all 3, food, frozen, Kong, whatever. See what they like. Give it to them, leave, record your dog. Come back home and go, oh, they ate the thing for a minute, or they ate it for the time I walked around the block, which was 5 minutes, or you need more information. Are they wandering around? Are they looking out the window? Are they eating the thing? And then you go, okay, they ate the thing for 5 minutes. That's actually a big deal. The dog can eat something while you're gone, that marrow bone. Now, but then they stopped at minute 6 and then they went to the door and whined. All right, that might be in the normal range. Or you could say, I'm going to go down 1/4 of a cup. I'm feeding my 5-month-old Dobie 3.5 cups a day. I'm going to go down to 3. 4 days it takes for a base decrease to kick in. So at day 4, you then give the marrow bone, you set up the camera, you leave. Now they worked on the marrow bone for 10 minutes. You see where I'm going with this? Does that make sense? Okay. So I could talk all day about separation anxiety, but that's where you got to start. Exercise before you leave always helps. You'll see online, you'll see like, everyone gets separation anxiety wrong. They don't focus on the big things. They focus on the little things. Act like you're not gonna, don't precurse that you're leaving. Don't get excited when you come home. Those are fine, but they're small. I just said the big thing. You also sometimes have to teach a stay and then you go to the bathroom, like, so they're just not in your vision all the time. I would argue that's also kind of small. It's really about giving them the second best thing ever because the best thing left. You have to fill that time and fill that energy in them doing something else. Make sense? I mean, you can go throw treats in the backyard and scatter it. That's good. It's kind of the same concept, but they'll give that up earlier. A marrow bone lasts 45 minutes, is super healthy for them. They love it. It's a little more simple than throw treats in the backyard. It lasts a little longer, stuff like that. All right. What's my personal experience training service dogs, and how would you change your training approach for service dogs versus normal dogs? I'm a longtime Beckman podcast member. Love them. It depends on the service dog. Like, you want a real service dog, or do you, and I don't mean real versus fake, I mean does the job, then you have to have learned helplessness. You have to do downstays. The dog has to be bored a lot. It's not about reinforcement. It's not about punishment. It's about get used to laying next to me, dog, at a restaurant. Nobody can come by and pet your dog and go, oh, your dog gets excited. No. It's boredom. Don't believe me? That's real service dog stuff. Learned helplessness is involved in the true service dog industry. I promise you. Now, if you want a good trained dog as your service dog, a nice dog, that's different. If you want your dog to just walk next to the wheelchair, just walk all calm, super duper calm, they're not sitting there treating the dog constantly. It's like, let's go. and no one says hi to you, and learned helplessness. All right. I'm going to get to Ryan's question. Do you think shelters are doing dog a disservice by not allowing certain training methods, even if they have people that are willing to work with troubled dogs? I think this is why certain breeds stay. All right, Ryan, who's Birdie DIY. Yeah, of course they are. I'll tell you a story in a minute, but man, this is going so fast. Positive reinforcement is not for every dog. It's just not. We all know that. They try to gaslight you and act like it is, but you got to kind of use your brain and go, yeah, oh yeah. The people who are telling you that don't have difficult pit bulls and don't have Dogo Argentino. They don't own those dogs. They don't work with those dogs. They know it. I know it. And you know it. And don't be gaslit. You have to use certain behavior, certain methods, punishing. Why am I doing it in quotes? Punishing doesn't mean pain. Punishing means essentially something the dog doesn't want. It really means actually if the behavior reduces, it's punishment. If the behavior doesn't reduce, you're not even using punishment. But anyway, these places, they train their people on all positive reinforcement, and it's not good. It's a nightmare. I went to this lady asked me years ago. She said, "Hey Joel, will you come to the San Diego Humane Society and help me with this difficult pit bull?" And I said, "Yes, I'll do it for free because you're a rescue." I go there. We go in the yard. She was a rescue, but she was going to take the pit bull from San Diego Humane Society and take it on as a foster, and then she runs a rescue. We go there, and me, the lady, and two San Diego Humane Society people go in this big yard they have, and they let out this giant pit bull. And this pit bull starts running around. He literally launches at one of the ladies, hits her, uses her as a trampoline, bounces off of her, runs to the other worker there, jumps on her, hits her, runs to me. Dog's running to me. I'm standing here. How am I going to do this? Dog's running to me. Right before the dog jumps, I put my knee up. I don't even knee the dog. I literally put my knee up. The dog jumps. He's not used to a knee being there. He's used to using people as a trampoline for his own enjoyment. And he runs his big old head into my knee, and it hurt. And he came off of that, and he looked at me. And that dog was different that day. And that dog was more rehomable that day. And those yard attendants looked at me like I was a bad person. We'll say it like that. They couldn't believe I did that, which is the best response in the world. And that dog was I did not even knee the dog. I defended myself, and the dog ran into my knee. But they have been told you can't do that. The poor pit bull with a cinder block head. He's got to use you as a trampoline, San Diego Humane Society people. You let these dogs let the dogs use you, and then give them treats when they're not jumping on you, which is so funny to me. The dog was more rehome that day. Yes, King's mom. Okay. You worked with Turkish Kangals. I've had 2 Kangals in my life. I don't know if they were Turkish. What are your thoughts on how difficult they are to train? They're extremely difficult to train. The ones I did, dealing with the tail end of aggression, reactivity towards big dogs and new people in the house. 60 kilograms, big dog. Yeah, they're a hard-headed dog. This one puppy Kangal I worked with, he was like 6 months old. I brought Prince or Bosco, one of my dogs, I think it was Prince actually, into their backyard. This dog's 6 months old. I do not worry when my grown Doberman is with a 6-month-old dog. I don't care the breed. They're 6 months old. This dog was like, "What's up, bro? You want to go?" And he was serious. That's not 6-month-old dog stuff generally. And if it is, my dogs go, "Hey, knock it off, chill your butt out. I'm going to be cool, but you got to be cool." And the dog kind of goes, "Okay, I get it." Not this dude. So yeah, they're tough guys, and it's a lot of dominant stuff. So there's different dogs out there: Kangles, Anatolians, Tibetan Mastiffs. You'll see videos. They want to pin and dominate. There's dogs that want to kill other dogs. They want to kill them. They want to bite them and shake them until they stop moving. That's not really that breed. They want to dominate. Some of them want to dominate. I'll take that all day, but it's still tough. It's a different kind of. It's not even aggression. It's different. It's better. It's better. Those are the dogs where you can go, I wish I had a Kangal. I wish I had a 120-pound Kangal. There are dogs that just need to be hit and rolled and stood over by another dog. Prince does it, but he's only so big. Okay, we have, we're over. I got to get my kid somewhere. This was a proof of life thing. I'm going to get to one more question. James, I think you already answered the question. In my condo complex, there are 3 different Yorkies that start barking at my almost 6-year-old intact male Dobie. They're the only ones he reacts to. Other dogs bark at him and he ignores them. Okay, that's an interesting statement, Joe. Thank you very much. Let me see if I recognize anybody from Beckman Unleashed. I'm going to get to Keisha's question because she was, I believe, the first one in this podcast. I have or she was the one waiting or something. Kensho 222. I have a 3-year-old female Dobie that's spayed. She's cool with my bro's dog, but tries attacking or barking at any other dog she sees. Okay, guys, this is my final thing I'm going to say here. You guys, aggression is unbelievably complicated. It has so many variables to it: genetics, early life stuff, trauma in life. Then there's the variability of you and your life. Then there's the house. There's 1,000 different variables. And so I need all this information to fix it. Sometimes. Okay. Here's the answer to you folks who have aggression. It's the Beckman Aggression Program. It is in the description. You have a community section. I do lives every week with you for an hour. You get tons of videos. I plan it. I plan the videos. They're released to you based on foundation and how you should be, and all these concepts and all this videos, all this interesting stuff. I made it for people who can't get to me, and because people just need it. 6 months long. It's in the description. Click the link and sign up. Cancel anytime. It's the best program for aggression. Beckman Coaching Program is the best program to become a professional dog trainer. It is. I know it is. Beckman Aggression Program is the best program. Cesar Millan maybe has worked with more aggressive dogs than me. Maybe. Nobody has worked with more animals than me, and nobody in the world has worked with more aggressive animals than me. The person does not exist. There's no killer whale trainers that also worked with lions that now has trained 5,000 dogs. That person doesn't exist. All that stuff has gone from my brain into Beckman Coaching and into Beckman Aggression. Both the links are in the description. Okay. I can't answer these I can answer a loose leash walking question. You can get a little piece of it in this. I can answer what else? Separation anxiety. You can get the broad strokes. Aggression's a whole nother level. I need so much information. Here, my computer might die. I need so much information. We need to move so slow. Nobody can get bit. I can't tell you things that are going to get you bit. So we need to move slow. We need to have weekly talks. See where you're at. You need to be posting. You're going to look at my videos. We're going to talk, blah, blah, blah. So Beckman Coaching Program for Become a Dog Trainer, Beckman Aggression Program. In the description are the links to sign up for that. And you should sign up. So I love you guys. I'm sorry I haven't been around to under duress. I got your message. I love you. To everyone from Beckman Unleashed, I love you. We'll probably see you next week. That's it. Talk to you guys soon. See ya.